What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a trade recap. This is going to be really cool because it should show a lot of good execution and reasoning behind trades that worked pretty well today. So here's the P&L, AMC 140, Ttd 233, 184, 460. So pretty much an all positive day across the tickers, but did have a losing trade there in on AMC. I think it was up to close to like 400, maybe 500 at one point with AMC, and then ended up giving some money back on another trade. So we'll cover all that here. But what I'm going to first do is just map out for all those tickers, all the trades, and then we'll come back and show you why we did that. So shorted AMC here pre-market, added short here when the market opened, and then as it tanked, I covered some here and then covered most of it down here and then held a little bit and then reshorted more and stopped out here. All right, and then we're going to go over, take a look at TTD really quickly. All right, so TTD was a short, ended up shorting pre-market with a target of this red line. So we went short here and then covered into that drop this morning. All right, next one was PRPO, which had a fat finger in there today, but for the most part ended up going short here, dropping down, covering a little bit, accidentally exiting with a fat finger, re-entering here, covering the short here for a win. So this one kind of sucked because I was up like 400, actually took it off, went red like 300 or 270, and then went green like 200. After dropping it down here, and then did another reshort here and took it off for a small loss. All right, and then the last one on the day is GameStop, which GameStop was also a swing trade and a day trade. So we've been swing trading for a while on GameStop. Anyways, we swung down today, broke down, added more short here, and then covered most of the position down here with the final target to 147 on the day. All right. So now let's go back and we're going to start at AMC and show you how we worked our way into all of these trades. So AMC, we're going to start by going to the 4-hour chart. So if you look at the 180-day 4-hour chart, you will notice this white trend line in here. So today, the way it would appear is that AMC had bounced up and got to its regression trend line or its 180-day mean, which means it's generally at resistance. So we're going to bet opposite, all right? Now, what happens when I mark that price point off is it'll come into play around like 990, 980, all right? So today, when the market opened, we were already short bias on AMC. We added short here, and as the market pushed up, we added more short. Because the concept of the way that I trade is when we go into trend resistance, we trade opposite. So today, AMC gaps up into this red line, which really is long-term resistance. We broke over briefly, but then swung down. And so this is, to me, just a little bit of excitement going into AMC where they bought it up over resistance, and then we were able just to hammer it back down. So again, the whole concept of the trade on AMC today was to bet bearish as the market got to the long-term trending resistance on the 180-day 4-hour chart. And then as it crashed, we were going to take off at the 9-day moving average zone. Now, why did we choose to take off around the 9-day moving average? And that's a yearly chart, yearly 9-day moving average. And the reason we chose to take off there is because there is no trending support nearby. So when we traded off the resistance, the nearest thing to target down were long-term moving averages of the 9-day moving average and the 50 moving average. All right. Now let's pop over to the TTD trade. So TTD had earnings today. We bet bearish, anticipating it would go lower. It ended up going much, much lower than I thought it. Well, actually, not really. One of our potential targets was all the way down to 500, but I didn't really think we were going to hit 500 today, which we haven't. We might do that tomorrow. So the way that we go about looking at TTD is overall the stock is bearish. They had earnings. It's coming down. Our target was down to this green line. At the time, it was like 544. Right now, it's 542 or something, okay? So this morning, we figured that the market was going to be able to make it down to that green line. So this morning, pre-market, when we went short here, our target was the red line. And we got that from looking at the 4-hour chart to figure out where our next deviation trend was on the downside. And that's how we're able to look and say, you know, it still looks weak. I think we can hit the next target down. So to recap, we got short, covered here, and we found that target by looking at the 180-day 4-hour chart, and it's just that green line. Now, what we're looking at is for TTD to actually start to bounce pretty soon, right here at 500. So for those of you that watch this recap, that's a swing trade. All right, you're going to be looking to be long bias TTD very soon around 500, slightly above, slightly below, and looking for kind of a dip and slight recovery on a counter trend bounce very soon with TTD. All right, next one is PRPO. So PRPO was slightly confusing, but it kind of worked. So looking at the daily chart, you see this green line. That's a +2 deviation. It's a resistance mark, so we're going to put a line there. And then we're going to go to the 4-hour chart, and we're going to do the same exact thing. And we're going to go put a line right here. So when PRPO started moving initially today, that was the target to be short around. So this morning, it shoots up, it gets halted, it gaps up. You can see it actually goes through those red levels right there that we put on. So stock gets halted, gaps up, over resistance, we add short, trying to fill the gap down on the day, intraday. So essentially, this was resistance. We went over it a little bit, which is okay, but we wanted to be short around the red lines, trying to bring the market back down to fill this gap. Well, the price actually went above the red line, so it got a little bit excited, exploded through. We added short, knowing that this was the first attempt of this market to break through strong resistance. We should trade opposite. And then if it wants to come back later, so be it. So our trade was short in these tops, trying to do a gap fill, and that was pretty much the short. And the way that we picked that resistance was by going to the long-term daily, the long-term 180-day 4-hour chart, picking our two nearest long-term deviation resistance points that are currently above or close to the current trading price, which came out to here. Our next short level was 550. 550 was the next short level because this would be the first attempt at 550 here. That would have been the first attempt that the market tried to get through the long-term deviation. So you see this blue line? Look at what's happened to the price since it got here for the first time. We'll put a price level there just as a reference. So then we go to the 1-minute chart. It'll still be there. So we'll put that there. And then look what happened as the price got there for the first time of the day. It stopped. It went into a short. So earlier today, we had two plays. We had, okay, we can short here for the first rejection at that resistance. And then if the market comes back to 550, we can short here for the second resistance and it come down. So you can see that the market's strong enough that it's beating out all the sellers. But that doesn't mean that you can't make money on it, because as you can see, we had a strong drop, and see, we had a strong drop. So as long as you know where the trend resistance is at, you can generally time these pullbacks in the market to either short or to close your long. When you get there, then go short, add back long, close long, then go short, and so on. So that's how we ended up doing the trade there today on PRPO. And the last one with GameStop, which you guys have been hearing for a long time, especially those that tune into our morning watch list every single day, you know that we've been saying GameStop's going to continue going down, and we have price targets. We used to have price targets of 121, then we had price targets of 141, now the price target was 147. Let me explain. If we go and look at the daily chart here on GameStop, you will see that we have now come down to trend support. Boom. See it? So when GameStop was trading back here, the price target was like 118. When it was trading here, the price target was 121. When it was trading here, the price target was 141. When it was trading here, it was 144. Now we've made it down, the price target's 147. So we have now trended all the way back down to our trending support. And this time we're going to be looking for the markets to break and swing GameStop down to like $100. But anyways, so we ended up picking this to be the low of day area. So when we went short on GameStop today, we said we have price targets of about 148 to 147 because that's the long-term trending support. And you'll see that as soon as the price of GameStop has gotten to 147.70, what have we done? We have bounced away. Let me go back, show you the 4-hour chart. Look at where we're at. Look at the price. Oh, not 4 hour. Sorry, it's the daily chart. My bad. I know. There's a lot going on. Are you following? Look at where the bottom of this candle is at. Right on trend. Literally. To the penny. 147.71. So that's how we predicted where our price targets would be for the downside move on GameStop today. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much today's trading day, and those are all the stocks that we traded. So I hope you guys liked the video. Hope you learned something new. Make sure to smash the thumbs up button so we can get the video going around YouTube. Hopefully the algorithm's working in my favor. Who really freaking knows? With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.